All right. Another day, another Josh cast. Which, I gotta be honest with you, I don't feel like doing this at all. I had a cinnamon bun yesterday, and I'm feeling it today. I know I shouldn't be doing this, eating these kinds of things. I should be eating healthy. I was very good about the food I ate the rest of the... No, I wasn't very good about that. I had a little bit of the chicken katsu, which is kind of a fried chicken dish. And though there was rice and salad with it, two wrongs don't make a right, as my father says. I also watched It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, in which Tom Hanks plays Mr. Rogers. And it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I wanted more Mr. Rogers. I wanted Mr. Rogers to step out of the movie and actually just give me therapy for 2 hours. I wasn't interested in the protagonist. It was like, you know what? This is great. Can I just... How much would it cost to hire Tom Hanks to be Mr. Rogers 1 hour a week for me? I would rather just do that. He can Skype. That's fine. That's cool. I would much rather do that. But it was a good movie, all in all. All right, I'm in this weird situation right now where I'm trying to make a right turn, and but there's not enough room. The guy who's going straight hasn't given me enough room. So it was a very awkward moment, and I think he knew it, or she. They knew that was happening. There's a fire truck that is parked. I think they're having breakfast. That's because the lights weren't on and there wasn't a lot of mad scrambling. I think they were just parked next to the Aroma Cafe having breakfast. And you know what? They should have breakfast. In fact, that's where I had the cinnamon bun last night. They should be careful if they're going to have that cinnamon bun. It's a heavy bun. I mean, it's a good bun, but it's heavy. It's mild drizzle right now. My favorite kind of rain, because no other kind of weather accurately describes me. Like, that should be the name of my comedy special. Mild drizzle. A mild drizzle of laughter. That's totally what that should be. I struggled in my meditation this morning. A lot of random thoughts. Still dealing with this cinnamon. It's not going to end well. I knew it when I had it. So here's my latest insanity. I was told, because I've been having a little bit of a problem with, for lack of a better term, loose stool. Why? Because I'm eating badly. And I was told that if I ate bananas, it would help with the stool. Now, what an intelligent person would do is they would stop eating the sweets and they would have the banana in conjunction with healthy food. What I have done is now, every time I have a sweet, I also have a banana. So now I am eating twice as much. I don't know how. I guess I'm just hoping the banana is going to just help the sweet through the intestines. It's like I'm sending my intestines a helper. So that's how I'm managing my sugar addiction. How are you this morning? I also find that when I eat sweets, it's harder for me to wake up in the morning. If I eat it the night before, I'm tired because I think more of my body is going into processing it. You'd think that sugar that was already this processed would be easy to process. But I guess not. Sorry about that pause. At that moment, had nothing to think of, although I'm looking at this. Okay, so the street's flooded right now. It hasn't even been raining that much. The street is flooded. And here's why I love Los Angeles. Los Angeles is known for years that it rains here. Not every day, but when it rains, it pours, if you'll pardon the expression. They know about this. They know about this. And yet, every time it happens, it's like we're all like, oh, what? This is a surprise. We're not prepared for this. I'm sorry, rain? Why didn't someone tell us this was going to happen? That was a nice riff. Now what am I going to talk about? Fear of death. Maybe I should talk about that. A palpable fear of death I have. And yet not afraid enough to eat cinnamon rolls. Currently driving through the NoHo Arts District. The North Hollywood Arts District. And I'm starting to like the NoHo Arts District. I like it because, and perhaps I'm just projecting, it feels very depressed to me. I feel like if you have to name it an arts district, it means that it's a struggling arts district. North Hollywood. We're all here because we are not being allowed into regular Hollywood. Again, I could just be projecting. Perhaps. What else is going on in my life? What else? Feeling like I should be... Ooh. Sorry about that. I was in that situation where I had the green light, but I had stopped because there's a lot of traffic, and then somebody was making a left turn, and we did that. You gonna stop? No. Yeah. Oh, all right. I'm very bad about signaling. I'm not talking about like, signaling for a left or right turn. I'm talking about the unspoken car language of I'm going to stop and let you go. I stop, and then I don't give them time to realize that I've stopped, and then I go, and then they go, and it's just, it's kind of like dealing with women, I guess. I feel very awkward about it. I say dealing with women like I deal with women. I don't even deal with women. At least not in a romantic sense. I don't put myself in that situation. Because I just don't think any good will come of it. It's just not... it's just I don't see the upside. And here's this weird thing that's happening. It's raining a little bit, but the sun is out. It's one of those situations where it's going to rain a little, and there's going to be sun, then it's going to rain, then there's going to be sun. I can't stand that. Although it beats the alternative, which is just pure rain. I can't believe I'm talking about the weather on this podcast. Well, I suppose I should just address the elephant in the room, which would be this coronavirus thing. That's freaking me out. Although they say it's leveling off in China and South Korea. Leveling off in South Korea, and I don't think they had to do the quarantine. Italy's got to do the whole quarantine. How did South Korea handle it? Maybe they did a quarantine too. I don't think they did. I wonder if it's even in North Korea. Probably not, because no one goes in there. So North Korea is sitting there going, ha ha, look at all of you having that virus. Who's laughing now? Or they do all have it, and we just are not hearing about it, and it's a major human rights disaster. One of the two. Los Angeles Pacific University. Boy, they're really trying to emphasize the West Coast part of that. Los Angeles Pacific West Coast, you can just sit by the beach. University. Yeah. I was just thinking about this guy I knew in high school and how he really wanted to go to Juilliard but didn't get in. And I think ended up going to one of those Pacific colleges. And I always felt that he kind of bullied me. And so there was a part of me that was like, yeah. And now I think back on that, and I just see the whole situation as sad. Sad for what he went through. Sad for what I went through. And ultimately sad that I have lost the ability to enjoy other people's pain today. That's really why I get out of bed most days. Could it be that Mr. Rogers has taught me how to truly be compassionate? Can I also say this about Mr. Rogers? I watched the movie. I was reading about him. I watched the video of him testifying to Congress for public funding. And out of all the things I'm reading about him, there's still a part of me that's like, yeah, but he had bodies in the basement, right? But apparently he didn't. Apparently he didn't. Perhaps I want him to so I can feel better about myself, even though if he did have bodies in the basement, I would momentarily feel better about myself, but then that feeling of better would disappear and I would be back to my usual depression. Driving by a florist's shop, flower shop. That's a life. That's an experience. A florist. Have we seen a movie with a florist? There has to have been a movie with a florist. I'm sure Cary Grant at some point played a florist who fell in love with Ingrid Bergman because that's what they did back then. Screwball comedy. Philip the florist. Played by Cary Grant. I simply do not understand. That was the worst Cary Grant impression you'll ever hear. I simply do not understand. That just sounds like I'm doing Terrence and Philip from South Park, but with a slight British accent. I simply do not understand, Philip. That's the one impression I can do, and it's only because my voice is 90% there already. I'm sure a lot of interesting things have happened in florist shops. There have been some florist shops run by dysfunctional people. There has to have been. What I'm saying is I'm sure someone has been murdered with a pair of scissors in a florist shop. That got dark pretty quickly, but it had to. My mom would take me to the flower shop on a semi-weekly basis because she would be buying a plant or flowers or something. And I never liked it in there. I don't know, there was something that creeped me out about the florist shop, to be honest with you. Boy, I almost went into a southern accent there. There's something that done creep me out about that florist shop, I tell you what. There's something. I don't like the smell of it. I think there's a lot more going on than a sale on roses, if you catch my drift. I can't even tell you what it was. I think there's something, it felt artificial to me. Because it's a room full of all these dead flowers. Calling out to me saying, "This isn't the rainforest, what's happening?" Saw a truck drive by. It's a company called Bimbo. It makes snack cakes. And I was reading about this. I think I've discussed this before on this podcast. That the company, I think it's a company housed in Mexico, and no one, when they were coming up with the name, knew what the American translation was going to be. Or not even translation, that they didn't know what Bimbo meant in America. And probably a lot, all the products and everything had been rolling out when finally someone said, "Hey, this word in America means, kind of a ditz." I think they should embrace it. I think that it should be called Bimbo, and there should be a picture of the blonde surfer dude. They should just totally embrace it. I don't think it should be a blonde woman, because I think we're in an era now where we've got to get away from those stereotypes. And I think a bimbo should defy genders. A bimbo can be any gender. Anyone can be an idiot if you put your mind to it. But I think it should be a blonde surfer dude, and the commercial should be, these shoes are great. No. This is an advertisement for snack cakes. Yeah. I love wearing them. Bimbo. Bimbo snack cakes. Whether you're a genius or an idiot, this will give you diabetes. Bimbo snack cakes. Bimbo snack cakes. Well, I'm arriving at my destination. I'm not sure if we accomplished anything, but I'm glad I did this podcast. I hope I didn't say anything that's going to get me fired from a job 5 years from now. Well, watch. It'll be a job at Bimbo. Well, we were going to hire you, but we heard you do this podcast. And we at Bimbo, we at the good people at Bimbo, will not have you sullying our name. We ask right now that you see yourself out. That way. That's not the door. That's just the door to the closet. Yeah, that's right. We want you to go into the closet and then tunnel your way out. You got the closet confused with the main exit, didn't you? Get in the closet. All right.